Hello there, it's Monday night, time for Headstart Journals. My name is Sue from Miller's Laboratory. Thanks for tuning in and joining me tonight. Tonight I'm going to do the last bit of structural work in these books. And after that, we are just going to have one more video where I show you some ideas for the cover and flip through mine with all the stuff inside so you can see what it looks like. So I'm hoping to have that all wrapped up for next week. I will really do my best. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm up to the challenge. So we are going to start here by flipping all the way back to the fourth signature. Sorry, let's go back a little bit more here. This is, where do I want to be here? We are in the fourth signature. The fourth signature starts with this little envelope that we put on that opens up, okay, that we can write inside, okay. And then on the next page we have this, the painter's masking paper again, and it's folded and folded again. So it's folded in and then folded back on itself, and it's like a little flap here. And I decided I wanted to do something where I split that in half like we did earlier in the book. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to use my scissors and just cut that up the center, okay? So let's grab the ruler. And let's measure it. Something I just love to do, but this is easy because it's 7 inches. 7 inches, so we can divide that in two, which would be 3.5. So we're going to be making 2 flaps that are 3.5 inches wide. And I'm just going to take this little flap and I'm going to carefully cut right up to that pencil mark. And only to the fold, that first fold, okay? So now we have made 2 separate little flaps here. And my thought was, I'm not really sure. I'm going to put something similar on each one. I have these 2 little acorn images. I got these from Pixabay, and I just backed them with a little bit of book page, okay? And I thought they would be cute on there. One on each flap, but I'm trying to decide, and then I made a backing with these little labels, and it's a teeny tiny little belly band, okay? I thought would be kind of cute instead of a pocket. All right, so I'm trying to decide if I just want to put them on there like that, or if I want to put one on like this so that they're like that. Or I could fold one of them over and have it go the other way so you don't even see it until you turn the page. And I kind of think that's how I'm going to do it for mine. But of course, you can take any one of those ideas and do it for yourself. So again, I just found 2 images that kind of go together. These were both photos by the same photographer, so they're similar style and everything. And I'm going to put this one on here. I'm going to glue it on, and then I'm going to back it with one of these, okay? So I want to put it on, and what I'm going to do is glue around about from here around the side, because I don't want to get glue too far out. And then I'm just going to run glue down here, okay? And I want to just kind of center it on there, and see I've got too much glue. I'll wipe that off here. I'm centering it on that little flap and making sure it's straight. I'll just wipe off that glue. That was a boo-boo. Okay. So it's glued on, and then we're going to put this guy on the other side. So you'll flip that over, and then there will be a little tiny tag stuck in there. Kind of a cute thing. You could also make this a pocket, like if you just wanted to use a flat thing, you could just glue this down on 3 sides, and then it would be a little pocket. Do it however you like. I'm going to use the belly band idea and glue it all the way around. I feel like I have a lot of pockets in this book already. So that's there, and you'll just open it up, and then there will be a little tag tucked inside there. Okay, then you can open up the page, and we're going to have the same situation here. So I'm going to use the acorn here and then put the same thing on the back. So let's try not to put as much glue on there this time. We'll just run it down about that far and about here. We'll center it again. So I hope everybody has had a nice weekend and a nice week since I last saw you. I had a great week. Went and did a little visit with my parents, and then this past weekend I went to visit my son, which is always fun. We have a wonderful time. I don't get to see him as often as I would like to, but we had a really nice visit. I enjoyed it. All right, let's glue that on again to match. Okay, and that's done. Okay, so now the way this page will work is you can flip this up, take out your little tag here, open up the page, flip this open, and you'll have a little tag under there. Just kind of whimsical little thing. Okay, all right, moving on. We're gonna keep flipping here, and we're gonna come to the middle of this signature, which is the brown bag and then the chocolate label. Okay, so I decided to make this chocolate label side into a tuck. It's going to be like a corner tuck this way, and what I want to do is just kind of fold up this edge a little bit so it's like that. Just kind of like it's crinkly or a little bit wrinkly or whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue down here and here, and then I'll probably glue that wrinkly part, like that accordion folded bit, just a little bit too. Okay, just so it stays nice and neat. Put a little bit of glue under there and under there. Just kind of press that down. And you could put something on there too, a little, you know, a button or something or whatever might go with your theme. Let's go ahead and put a little under here too. There. I actually kind of liked it better when it was a little bit loose up there. Loosen that up a little bit. Okay. All right. Now on the other side, I wanted to make something interesting. So we're going to have some envelopes that fold out, that are nested together and fold out. All right, so I freehanded made these envelopes, and I know they look weird. Ignore the green for now. I used manuscript paper, or the paper that you use to write music on, and I just made envelopes that have the angled sides. You can use a little envelope that you have as a pattern. You can use one of those envelope makers that We Are Memory Keepers has, or you can just freehand it like I did. Because what I did was I said, I want an envelope that's going to fit on here. So I wanted it to be that wide and a little bit less than this width here. And I cut myself a card that side, just out of an index card. Then I took my paper, I kind of put that index card in the middle, and I folded all the four sides up around that card. And so then you have obviously a big rectangle with the folds, and then you just start cutting out the shape that you want. So that's all I did here. And then why is a little bit of it colored green? Because when the envelope is closed, I want you to see something different on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these closed as envelopes first. And to do that, I'm just going to put a little glue on these edges here. and around here. And I'm not going to put it up there for now because I can't remember where to stop. Can always reach in and add more glue if I need to. All right, but I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so now it's an envelope, just like that. Okay, all right, I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. So this idea, you can take envelopes and put them together and make them into a whole little book themselves. But I'm just going to do two. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this flap onto this envelope so that if I fold that up, when you open it down, you have an envelope pocket here and also one here. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm putting glue on this flap. If you have envelopes already, little envelopes, you can just use them. You don't have to make your own. I just did it because I wanted them to be a particular size. Okay. And I'm gluing that so there's just a tiny bit of space there, so that there's room to open and close it without it getting hung up. Okay, now we have that. All right, now I'm going to be folding this back and gluing it on there like that. So when you open this up, you're not going to see this part of the flap. That's going to be glued down, but this will open up like this. And also, you can flip it up this way. Okay, so we'll put our glue on this flap and get it down there. So the coloring there, I just colored it because you could glue a piece of paper in there is what I'm trying to get to. But I figured this book is getting so dang thick already that I thought it would probably be better if I didn't add any more thickness than I have to. Because remember, I am going to come in here and put things in these pockets too. So there's that. Opens up like that. It's tucked under there like that when you first open the page. So, and then you can open it up this way and you could write all in there. Okay, there's that. All right. Now we're going to flip to, this is the last signature. You probably have this, you should have a page that looks something like this, maybe a different color. And then this is that typing paper. And then we have this cookbook page with the cool little holes in the top where it was coil bound. Okay, so we're gonna make another pocket on here as if we don't have enough pockets already. This is going to be a wraparound pocket, so I chose an image that is at least twice as wide as my page, and I'm going to be gluing it down. What I'm going to do is cut it at an angle this way and then glue it around and wrap it around the page. Okay, so what I want to do first is just see how big that needs to be, and I'm going to fold it so it's the size of the page, because some of it's going to get cut off. It's wider than what I need. And we'll just go ahead and fold it back this way. Okay. All right. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut this extra bit off. Kind of cool, so I might use that for something. And then I'm just going to tuck it around the page and make sure I've got the size right. Yeah, that's just fine. Okay, all right. So it's going to make an angled pocket on both sides. So what I want to do is cut from, I can cut or tear from here down to about here. I don't want this pocket to go all the way down because that would be a very short little pocket. So I'm going to come to about here. I'm going to move this up. Okay. So we're going to go, let me grab my ruler here. So we're going to tear from here to about here. I'm going to tear it. And I'm going to tear it on the other side so that I don't have white showing. Let me make sure I got the right one. I do. All right, can you see that? I don't know, am I on screen? So I'm matched up with the top corner here, and I'm about halfway down on the other side. Doesn't have to be exact, just whatever you want. I'm going to tear this. Okay. So now when we put it on our page, the pocket on this side, what are we getting stuck on there? Is really tall. We're just going to have something poking out there, and then this wraps around, and then we have a little bit shorter pocket on this side. Okay, so we're going to put glue here around the bottom and over here. If you want to, you can put a little bit in the crease too. I don't think you really need to. I don't think you're going to have problems with stuff slipping through there, but you're welcome to do that if you want to. I'm just going to leave mine. Okay. Try to get it in the right spot. There we go. Easy peasy. All right. Then we have a pocket here and a pocket here. Okay. All right, I'm going to do one more thing. We're going back to here. And I chose to do this on purpose because I noticed in my book that this page, the one that's this sort of caramel colored book page that has the pop-up in it, I noticed that mine is kind of loose. This is a little bit more delicate paper, and you could just put some tape there and that would be totally fine. That would work great. I decided that I'm going to use it, so I'm going to make a little side tuck over here. So this will get glued here, here, and here. And then, so I've used this one image of the branch, and on this side of the fold, I'm going to leave it intact with the background. On this side, I'm going to cut this out so just the leaves that are trailing over onto this page. So again, what I'm going to do here, I have it folded down the middle. I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut out around all these leaves just on the right side of the fold. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I will be right back with that. Okay, I'm back. I did all my cutting here. So I'm going to be, again, gluing this down. This side's going to be glued on 3 sides, a little pocket, and then the ones that extend over onto this side are going to act to like attach this page to this page and stabilize that so it's not going to come out. All right, so we're going to flip this over. We're going to do the pocket part first, and I'm just going to go around the 3 sides here, just as close as I can to the bottom, because I don't want to take up a lot of that pocket space in the width there. So now we're going to carefully lay this on here so that it's right up to that fold. And I obviously had cut this to size before I got started here. All right. Press that down in there good. Make sure everything seems like it's in place, and it does. It seems like it's good. Okay. Now we're just going to glue all of these guys down onto this side. So we'll start up at the top here. Make sure and get right up underneath that fold a little bit. And then you're just going to want to make sure you're tucking it right up in there, good, like that. Okay, then we'll go down to the next section and do the same thing. This one's bigger. Get up under there a little bit. So this is just a fancy way of making a side tuck that also reinforces your page a little bit. You wouldn't have to have it, you know, it doesn't have to be a page that needs reinforcing, but I just like the look of that, how it trails over onto the next page. I don't know. It looks really pretty with something floral too, to just have some flowers spilling over onto the next page. All right, let go. Okay, we're gonna do our little tuck thing again, making sure that's right up there snug. And then just press it down. And then I've just got this one more little leaf here at the bottom. There we have it. So this little side tuck here. Okay, all right, one more thing to show you. Hang on, I'm gonna flip around here. All right, sorry about that, guys. We just had a little mishap here and some of the lights went out behind me. So my husband had to fix, there was a little electrical thing going on, but we're all good. So I'm just gonna flip back here a little farther, and I am at the page here where we used washi tape to hinge in another page. This is just a few pages from the end of the book here. You could do this anywhere, wherever you like. But mine was a tree book, and then it had some text on the back that isn't particularly lovely. And so what I'm going to do with this is make writing space again that pulls out, but it's going to be a pocket. So I chose an image. This is just a little image I got from the Graphics Fairy, and then on my computer I placed it onto this music page just for a cute background. And then I've cut a piece of this ledger paper. This is just from a new ledger. It's not old or anything. If you tea-dyed it, it would look cool, but I didn't bother with this. And it's just tri-folded, okay? And the size of it is just slightly larger when it's folded in thirds than my little image, so that I'm just going to have a little bit of a frame all the way around my image. So I'm gluing it on the left side panel here, okay? And we're just going to glue it right down. Oh, I thought I had this glue fixed. Apparently not. I think it might be time to take it apart and clean the nozzle out really good, because it just doesn't want to come out very well this last couple of weeks. Okay. All right. Just center that on there. Okay, so it's going to pull out like this, and then this part of it is going to be a pocket. So we're just going to glue that on 3 sides. You can make it a side tuck, let me think. You can make it a side tuck or a top. I think I'm going to do a side for something different. So I'm going to glue it on these 3 sides here, just because it's a little different. Center it on there. Okay. So we can slip something in there if you want to. You don't have to. Leave your options open. And then we'll put a little tab on here, and then you can pull it out here and write. Okay? All right, I did want to show you one other thing because I just didn't want to forget. If you remember I don't know, probably 3 weeks ago, we did the stencil where we flipped it up, and that was all the way at the beginning of the book somewhere. Of course, I won't be able to just page to it right now. There it is. Okay, so I saved the letter that I punched out of there, and I just want to put that somewhere near the end of the book so that when you're paging through the book, you come to that and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That goes with that thing at the beginning. So just for something fun. And I just decided, I flipped over a couple more pages. Here's the little envelope that's a pocket, and it's the other half of the cookbook page. And I'm just going to glue it on here just for fun. You could, I don't think with this tea I could really make it into a tuck or anything. I don't think it would work for that, so I'm just going to glue it down. But you know what? I do want to make sure, because remember I stamped on both sides. I just want to make sure that I'm using the side that matches up with this. It's that one. Okay, so I want to glue on this side. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to be working like a dog to get all the rest of the stuff done in this book. All of the tags and little journal cards and everything that I'm going to put inside the pockets. I'm not going to show you that. I mean, that's tags and journal cards, and I'm not doing those instructionally for this book. So I will get those done and put in. I'm also going to do something with the cover. I haven't decided quite what yet. I don't mind the cover the way it is, but I do want to give you some ideas for ways that you can jazz it up if you want to. And I would also show you how I would make a little dangle for this book, because everybody loves those. So that's coming up next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are great. I'll see you soon. Bye.